Hello, boys and girls. It's Mrs. Jones again, and today we're going to be talking about water resources in Virginia. We've already learned about natural, human, and capital resources, and we've discussed some of the animal and plant resources. Today we're going to be talking about water resources. A bay. A bay is an inlet of the sea or some other body of water. It's usually smaller than a gulf. A bay is a body of water that's surrounded by land on three sides. If you look in this picture, you see the state of Virginia. We have a very famous bay beside of us. It's connected or it's surrounded by land on three sides. Can you name the bay in Virginia? We have the Chesapeake Bay in Virginia. The Chesapeake Bay is Virginia's largest water resource. Bays are extensions of larger bodies of water, such as lakes and oceans. The Chesapeake Bay is an extension of the Atlantic Ocean and is salt water. The Chesapeake Bay provides large quantities of food in the form of fish, oysters, crabs, and other sea animals, as well as a means of transportation by ship and many opportunities for recreation. Yesterday we talked about how horses were for recreation. The word recreation means for fun. A lot of people that live on the east coast of Virginia, they will go to the bay and it's almost like a beach for them. So they can swim, they can boat, they can kayak, they can do lots of recreation activities in the bay. Lakes are another type of water resource in Virginia. A lake is a body of water that is usually fresh. An example of a lake in Virginia is Lake Drummond or Smith Mountain Lake. We also have a lake that is in part of Henry County called Philpott Lake. Lakes are considered resources because they provide sources of food, water, and recreation. A reservoir. A reservoir is an artificial or natural lake where water is collected as a water supply. So a reservoir is where they collect water and they store it there until it's time to be used. Nearly all lakes in Virginia are man-made reservoirs created by dams that block streams and flood land to form a lake. Rivers. A river is a large stream that flows across land. What are Virginia's four major rivers? Well, they're the James River, the York River, the Rappahannock River, and the Potomac River. This is also something that you will learn in Virginia Studies. A watershed. You might say, Mrs. Jones, I've never heard of a watershed. Well, a watershed is an area over which surface water flows to a single collection place. So when it rains, water eventually finds a creek, a river, stream to go to, which then gets carried into the ocean. We're part of a watershed. If it rains in Henry County, once our water drains, it ends up in North Carolina. So we're in the North Carolina Sounds watershed. I'm going to show you a quick video on watersheds.
A watershed is a region of land that drains rainwater and snowmelt into a specific body of water. Watersheds vary greatly in shape and size. No matter the location or form of land, it's part of a watershed. Cityscapes, farmland, forests, and wetlands. In every watershed, water moves downhill from the highest spot we can see. A watershed can be a few acres that drain water into a small creek. A city neighborhood where rainwater and snowmelt rush into storm drains and then into a stream is a watershed. Both streams eventually flow into rivers. The land that drained water into the streams is also part of these larger river basins. And it doesn't end there. This is the watershed for a vast area, the Mississippi River Basin, the largest watershed in North America. Water from almost half of the land in the continental United States drains into the Mississippi. The water continues to move downstream to its final destination, the Gulf of Mexico. The moving water in this enormous area ties both the watershed and its living organisms together. Each acre of land, every creek, and every river is unique and essential. Each watershed has distinct characteristics based on the land and water features in the area.
And now, while we're talking about watersheds, we need to know something important. We need to know that we all live downstream. Everything that we throw away or dump down the drain affects us. The pollutants flow into the watershed and into the rivers and oceans. The polluted water then evaporates and comes down as rain, which we drink. We need to take care of the earth because humans and animals need clean water.